tuarangi e. Haere mai rā ki runga tēne o tata marae e. Nō ria mai rā ngā tini mate I rungi a koutou mō tata katoa tangi haere mai. Takahia mai rā ngā papoai o ngā tūpuna ngā tiapa ki te rātoe. Whakatau mai rā, whakatau mai tā.
E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā waka, e ngā karangatanga maha, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Nau mai, haere mai, piki mai. Piki mai ki runga tēnei o ngā waka tapu o mātou, o ngā tiapa ki te rātō. The Heaphy, what to us is the Ngātiapa track, is best known for its beauty and diversity. The track takes 4 to 6 days. It is classified as a working track, being well formed and suitable for most people. All rivers and major streams are bridged. For 82 kilometres, it crosses a range of landscapes in Kahurangi National Park. From the junction of the Brown and Aorere rivers, over expansive tussock downs to the lush forests and roaring seas of the west coast. As such, the Heaphy track is one of New Zealand's great walks and is a symbol of our Maori heritage. In 1895, a group of Te Atiawa and Ngātiapa living at Kawatiri, Bulla, petitioned the government for relief from their landlessness. The petition was referred to the Landless Natives Commissioners. In July 1896, a petitioner, Hoani Mahuika, provided a list of names to whom land should be allocated. The Landless Native Commissioners investigated the list of names and by October 1896 identified 28 adults and 10 minors eligible to be allocated land. The 38 grantees were each allocated a section by ballot in December 1898. The remodelled land comprised 28 50-acre sections and 10 20-acre sections, as well as a quarry reserve, a school reserve and 5 public utility reserves on the banks of the Heaphy River. The government was required to reserve the land and gazette the names of those entitled and their allocations. This never happened. No titles were issued to the grantees. In 1926, members of the Ngāti Apa Mahuika family inquired about the allotments, and Hoani Mahuika requested the issue of a certificate of title. In 1927, the Commissioner of Crown Lands, Nelson, suggested that Maori grantees be discouraged from settling in the area, as such settlement might require further expenditure by the Crown through the building of roads or schools. Whakapohai lands were set apart for state forest purposes in March 1974. Under the Ngaitahu deed of settlement, Ngaitahu opted to have the Whakapohai lands vested in the descendants of the original grantees. Ngāti Apa have a considerable interest in the original grantees. We now look over the shoulder of our maunga tupuna into the karamea, where we pay tribute to our elders who have gone on before us, namely our tupuna Hoani Mahuika Tuatahi and our tupuna whae Heni Tūroa. To them who gave us the footprint in our land. These footprints, measured in this ancient map given to us by Terralink, where it shows the southwest Pacific Ocean as opposed to the Tasman Sea. In this we have the recordings of all the land sections where Ngāti Apa are featured as being grantees of these particular sections. From the Kawatiri right through to Whakapohai, the Heaphy River. Inside these maps are shown the sections that were allocated out to our tupuna, right from the Heaphy down into the Buller River, the Kawatiri. It is here that we find all of our land systems and our footprints given to us by our tupuna. From Karamea to Little Wanganui, Wanganui Iti, giving us the footprints continuous in which they walked, thought and prayed for. Within these waters and in these hills where our tupuna are still buried, waiting for the return of the taonga tukuiho that our tupuna Hoani Mahuika petitioned the government for. Mai karamea, atura ka hiki mata e au o ku tapu ai, ki roto I te whānuitanga o te whenua, tai atu ki te hohunutanga o karamea whakapau karakia. From our tupuna, we take the cord that was tied on the pautoko manawa that was left here, the whakapapa that gives Ngāti Apa its standing in this land. Nā reira ke te mihi, ke te tangi atu kia koutou e ngā awa tapu. Koutou I rere I te tuatahi mai I ngā awa tuku roimata a rangi nui ki runga I a Papatūānuku. We are now approaching the outskirts of Westport. In the centre there is a new Orowaiti cemetery. This is a shot of Westport town. The sections in red are the Maori reserves created as a result of the Arohura purchase. 9/10 of these were allocated to Ngāti Apa, which consists of 40 Maori reserves, 36 of which were of Ngāti Apa. The close-up identifies the Maori reserve numbers. Subsequently, all of these reserves went into the Mawhera Incorporation. A lot of them have since been sold. The red arrow points to the 100-acre section, number 44 of Puaha Te Rangi. They also eventually went into the Mawhera Incorporation and has also been sold. In the foreground, there on the opposite side of the river, is the burial site of Hoani Mahuika I. We approach on the left Ngāti Apa section, the old homestead of the Mahuika whānau, where Ngāti Apa are currently building a holiday home for their beneficiaries. This picture indicates our approach to Cape Foulwind, the cement works in the foreground, and to the left the bay there is Tauranga Bay where Ngāti Apa had some of its gardens in earlier times. This is a popular area at the moment for our young people who enjoy surfing. We are now looking at 9 Mile Beach. Along the shoreline on the left-hand side of the road there are midden sites. This road leads down to the Okari Lagoon. In the far distance are the Paparoa Ranges and the commencement of the Paparoa National Park. We now return back to Westport, and on the left is the airport and the mouth of the Kawatiri, or the Buller River. In the belt of pine trees in the foreground there, on the other side lives Alice Batt, one of our beneficiaries, who's presenting a paper here. She lives in that cottage there, right on the edge of the river.